nothing, and I mean nothing, is more satisfying than landing an AoE attack against multiple enemies and completely decimating them. And this game has 3 different types of AoE: straight line AoE, an actual circle area of effect, and a very dangerous cone. Yet I still can't figure out which one of these are my favorite. A tactical turn-based RPG with mechs? Do I need to say any more? Fusionist is a crazy expanding sci-fi world across multiple games. Game 1, which you can play on your browser, and you create your own civilization and base within different varying terrains, from a frozen tundra to gaseous lands, poisonous lands, and lava. You can craft materials to further expand on it as well, and in that game, the materials that you create can be used in game 2, which is going to be our focus for today. In Fusionist, you can take mechs into a turn-based tactical battle. I'm telling you guys, this game absolutely needs to be on your radar. It has multiplayer battles where you can participate in PvP against real players. Strategy, tactics, customization, epic music. Be sure to check out our link down below in the description and also pinned in the comments so you guys don't miss out on it. My favorite aspect of this game is being able to use long-range distance to start off the battles before your opponents can even get close to hit you. If you stay within the movable white points on the map, you can actually do 2 actions per mech depending on available attacks. And this is actually represented with the 2 yellow dots above you. If you move to a yellow dot entirely, you will be exhausting all of your turns and you have to wait another round. So the main key is to see what range your mech's abilities can reach. And if you can't hit someone from your current spot, you need to move within a white square so that you can immediately queue up an attack to follow. This is insanely good on mechs that have great range and versatile gameplay. Some mechs are strictly melee, some have range abilities, and if you're up for it, you can give them both. You can actually absolutely do that. Have the best of both worlds on whatever mech you want. However, you do have to sacrifice some attacks. The BltzZ mech usually has a lower mobility for balance purposes, but at range, they can delete enemy shields in the most satisfying way, making it safe for your melee range combat enemies to go in and decimate them. I was able to unlock a BltzZ mech with crazy long-range attacks and an AoE drone setup where it calls down drones to hit multiple enemies multiple times repeatedly. And quite frankly, if you use this against a single enemy, it's one of the best things you can easily do to get rid of them. Completing missions gives rewards, and some early rewards offer incredible stat boosts that we can improve our current mechs with. Or sometimes we can get more weapons to add into our mechs, and ultimately give them more abilities and damage output. But that's just one example. Striker mechs are very strong in melee attacks and have rapid movement to close in on enemies, disrupt formations, and overwhelm them generally. Keystone mechs are your tanks, basically strong defenses and shields to absorb various attacks. Some of them also have elemental shields which will absorb elemental attacks, making sustaining and survivability a huge factor for Keystone mechs. The Buster mech is your source for big damage, big AoE, and big range with massive weapons delivering crazy firepower. The Apostle mech is your support specialist that will be using weapons to give buffs and heals, increasing your damage and making your enemies susceptible to more damage. It's a great option and a very important unit to have on your team, especially in long encounters. I like to have 2 Apostles on my team to make sure my battles and wins are easily securable and can continuously heal my teammates if we take some very big damage early on. The way this game works, we can actually craft our dream team of mechs and focus on specific gameplay elements. We do this by finding the ideal blueprints to forge them. Depending on the materials that we have farmed, you can see your percentage rates of getting really rare blueprints and schematics. You don't need to forge immediately. If you like a blueprint, you could always save it and come back to it later if you don't have the necessary materials for it. Some mechs can come with only 1 weapon and a form of attack, but you can totally get fully loaded mechs that have a wide arsenal. Some attacks are devastating but locked off due to requiring you to deal 5 crit hits to unlock it, but when you finally do get that, you're able to use it. You'll see exactly why they restrict this move. Elemental damage also exists in this game. We talked about that a little bit earlier, which can make or break certain matches. The elements are electrical, frost, and fire. One of my mythical mechs has a fire shield that can protect teammates around it for a few turns. Normal attacks can pass through it, but ice-based attacks actually get nullified. So knowing this, if you're going against ice elemental enemies, we can counter a ton of their moves and they can't even touch us. For the first few turns, it's actually really satisfying as well. We can also have a great amount of synergy with frozen, burn, and electrical elements. If you freeze an enemy's legs, that mech can't move and can only do actions within its range, which obviously if you hit a melee range enemy with this, they're pretty much locked out of the battle for a couple of turns. You can use certain teammate abilities to heal and get rid of this issue, which is also great and can speed up turns to prevent enemies from getting an early start on you. but you have to have that equipped on a teammate that can provide potential debuffs. Looking at the Apostles. Leveling up your mechs through gained experience can improve and increase the number of skills at your disposal, ultimately being the deciding factor in a lot of battles. Because in fights, certain abilities can only be used once per 2 or 3 turns. We need to maximize their uses by obtaining a lot of skills. So each turn, we can actually execute something else instead of normal attacks. Fusionist is absolutely beyond what I expected. I'm always on the hunt for new RPGs that especially have unique mechanics and approaches to combat. This game exceeds all of that and offers an endless amount of replayability, especially when you take full advantage of this by creating loadouts in your armory to customize and create the ultimate team composition, or mix and match other combinations to see what works best. Download Fusionist today and join this ever-expanding sci-fi world. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More RPG videos are on the way and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ and thanks for watching.